Okay, good morning. Today's topic is, of course, using Facebook for your insurance operation and really just going over some of the basics and strategy you're going to need to implement to be successful with it. And, I think right off the bat, the key concept is to realize that a lot of people are now addicted to Facebook. They're on it on their phones. They're on it on their iPads. I mean, we're not talking about, 10,000 people. We're talking about hundreds of millions of people, especially in the United States. So, as salesmen, as entrepreneurs, as consultants, we need to take advantage of this. We need to harness this website traffic and get people kind of paying attention to us. And Facebook is a huge free opportunity to do that. So, the first thing I always try to set the tone for is what's the focus? And really the focus is to use Facebook like drip marketing used to be used. And what that means is it means consistency, right? The overall goal is to consistently post, in my opinion, educational content to project yourself as the expert, as the guru, so that when someone has a life event, right, they start a company, they buy a house, they have a child, and insurance becomes their need, we have projected ourselves as the expert. We haven't been projecting ourselves as the guy selling the cheap products, because then we're just a salesman. We want to project ourselves as the guru, the go-to person. That's how we're going to get referrals. That's how we're going to get more people thinking of us, going to our websites, and in the end, having that overall puzzle in place to be successful. So to do that, obviously consistency is the number one facet, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Two, you need to have some sort of strategy. The thing I always like to say is welcome to the party. This party's been going on 14 years, right? Facebook has been around for a long time. All that means is a lot of people out there have gotten really good at using it. They have a very advanced strategy. So just because you're kind of waking up to it and saying, okay, I got to use this, you have to also understand that you're playing against some people that are very polished. So you have to respect that. And then, of course, posting is great, but if it's only going to 5 people, what good is it? So growing your page is always, part of that consistency aspect. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. So let's kind of delve in and talk real quick about posting and, and having that consistency and having some sort of strategy. So, the one thing I always like to say is if you spent more than 3 minutes working on your post, you've lost money that day. Because one of the things that really, that is a common mistake of the beginner on social media is to overthink things, to really try to come up with the perfect post. And in my opinion, that's silly, because really it has nothing to do with that. Let's just kind of go through how it all flows, right? You go onto Facebook for hopefully you have a business page for your operation, and you post something. You go in, you put the content in, you pick a picture, you post it. And what's really happening? Well, it's going to all of your followers' news feed. And as an example here, they go in and they see it on their feed, and they're just kind of on their phone or on their iPad, and they're scrolling down. So here's my point. There's no way that a high percentage of people are going to meticulously analyze your post. Very, very unlikely. I would say a high percentage are going to kind of see it out of the corner of their eye. And it does register in their brain. And hopefully what it registers is, oh, insurance guy posting another smart insurance post. This guy's smart. These people are smart, whatever. So I guess my point is very important tip is to do this stuff efficiently. We don't want to be wasting 5-10 minutes thinking about, oh, should I have 2 paragraphs? What should it say? Not so much about that. It's more about being able to, write rapid fire. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, being able to get good content on there, simple, educational. The whole thing that we're trying to get to register is these people are the insurance experts. And I know that they are involved in these types of different products. That's all we're trying to, again, it's drip marketing. We're trying to drip that on people's heads. We're trying to plant the seed in their brain that when eventually they have a problem, they come looking for us. That's it. So my point is that when it comes to posting, we really want to implement what I call boring consistency. Doesn't mean the posts have to be boring. It just means that really the key to success is just that day in, day out, day in, day out. And I know that sounds really easy, but trust me, it's not. 95% of your competition out there, they think they're doing a good job, but in the end, they get busy, right? They do a good job for 2-3 days, they post a few things, but then they get busy working in their business, and it doesn't get done for a week. It doesn't get done for 2 weeks. So my point is it's almost kind of like the tortoise and the hare. You want to be that tortoise that just every day keeps walking a few steps, never stops. And that is the key to the long-term success of social media. But you would be surprised how many insurance professionals out there are unable to do that. So again, what you want to make sure you're doing, though, is having a good strategy in place that's going to help you become successful. So one thing that's important is obviously the different pictures that you're putting into your posts. So again, you're posting, it's showing up on people's feeds. As people are scrolling down, and I'm doing this on the presentation, hopefully you're seeing some different posts here. Some different posts with different pictures. And I guess my point is imagine not even posting a picture. How would someone even really see your post? They probably wouldn't. They would probably skip right by it. So having a picture, very important. There's 3 types of strategies when using a picture, okay? Strategy 1 is to use a picture that matches the content. So let me see if I can pull up an example here. Let's see here. I may not have, well, here's a good example. Here was an article about Social Security, and there's a Social Security card, right? So picture matches the content. Strategy number 2 is to use more of what I would call an eye-catching picture. So it may not necessarily have to do with the content posted, but it's pulling people in, then they read. Or the other option is kind of the total opposite of what I said first, which is having something that has nothing to do with your post. So maybe you're posting about life insurance, and you got a picture of Cookie Monster eating some Oreos, right? Totally nothing to do with anything. Is that the right strategy? Is that the wrong strategy? That's the funny thing about social media. There really isn't any right or wrong. It's about being creative. It's about using trial and error. And most importantly, understanding that if I post a picture of Cookie Monster and I get, 5 people liking it and giving comments, you have to understand that that may not be the same results you get because you have different people following you. You have a different target market per se. So you have to keep in mind who's following my page and what types of things would maybe be relevant to them. What types of things would make them react to it. So keep that in mind. But I think in general, and just to kind of summarize today's presentation, the key to success is just that diligence, that day in, day out posting. And I always get people who roll their eyes and say, yeah, sure it is. Trust me, it is. You can post once a week and have the most brilliant posts. And if you go head-to-head with another agency that's posting 5 days a week, has simpler posts, more educational, I'm very confident that the agency posting 5 days a week will crush you when it comes to getting new referrals. They will probably get double what you get because it's about that daily consistency. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is you don't have to bend yourself out of shape trying to figure out what to come up with. Keep it simple, keep moving, good articles that are relevant to the products you sell. Obviously, little tips, little reminders. The one thing you definitively never want to post are solicitations. Never tell people that you can save them money on insurance. I know as a salesman, you're scratching your head saying, well, don't I want to do that? Doesn't that give me an advantage? No. What it does is it projects you to be a solicitor. It projects you to be a salesman. And in 2016, people have become programmed to ignore solicitors. They typecast you. He's a solicitor. I don't have to pay attention to him, right? When people call up, cold calling, if a solicitor calls you, what is the most likely reaction your body wants to perform? Hang up the phone on the solicitor. That guy may be giving you $1 million, but you're programmed to hang up. It's the same concept on social media. Look like a solicitor, you'll get yourself ignored. So be careful with posting those types of posts. And of course, keep in mind that pictures are very important. and they will help people, kind of identify the post initially, bring them in to kind of glance at it and read it. And then it's just about the day in, day out doing that. Do that all the time, and you'll be much better off. All right, guys, I appreciate your time today. Tried to keep it simple. Next week, we're going to talk in a little bit more detail about how to get more followers on Facebook for your business, and we'll go from there. Thanks again. Have a great day.